Good evening, grade 12. Today we're going to carry on with analysis of financial statements. In your textbook, the last exercise we completed was on net asset value, a shareholders return, earnings per share, and dividends per share. If you look on page 236, we're then moving on to analysis of the income statement. These ratios are relatively easy, so we're not going to do those few exercises there. You can do them on your own if you'd like to, and I can check them for you. On page 239, you'll see a summary of the financial indicators, and that's obviously a very important point of reference for you. All the financial indicators are listed on this page. I will also send you something which you can keep on your phone to use, and then obviously we can print it out when we get back to school. Okay, so if you look at on page 239, the ratio numbers from 1 to 5, okay, are basically ratios or percentages we're calculating from information that we gather from the income statement. And you can see that those ratios are, the formulae are not very important to learn, because the ratio is called, like for example, gross profit on cost of sales, which means it's gross profit divided by cost of sales, and you multiply it by 100 to make it a percentage. So these are the profitability and operating efficiency ratios. So basically what happens here is that we need to comment on whether the company is profitable or if it's operating efficiently. Obviously, some ratios you would like for them to increase from year to year in order to show an improvement in the profitability. And other ratios you actually would need them to decrease. One of those would be operating expenses on sales, because operating expenses should be lower and not higher. Okay, so we'll go through that. Okay, then so the next exercise we're going to be doing is task 4.29. I'm going to be doing that one now with you. And task 4.28 is something you can do on your own for practice. Okay, so task 4.29. Casem Pty Limited is a retailer in hardware. They aim at a markup of 50% on cost. Sales on credit account for 40% of total sales. Okay, so if you've got the markup, the target markup, we also have that the credit sales percentage. We've been given information from the income statement, from the balance sheet, and also from the notes of the balance sheet. In the required on page 246, let's calculate the following indicators for 20.4. The 20.3 calculations are provided for you. So I have made two columns here where 20.3, the figures I've just typed them in, and we're going to now calculate for 20.4. So the first one is gross profit on cost of sales, and the formula, it is gross profit divided by cost of sales multiplied by 100. Right? Gross profit, let's look at our income statement to get the gross profit information. We've been given sales and cost of sales. Okay, so we're just going to take the sales amount 1,190,000 minus the cost of sales 822,000. That will give you gross profit. And you're going to divide that by the cost of sales, which is 822,000. Okay, once we've got this answer, all we should do is calculate it, and that will give you an answer of, we also need to multiply it by 100 first, and that will give us an answer of 45%. Okay, just want you to make a note here that another name for this is actually the markup percentage. Now, if you remember from last year, we used to calculate the markup percentage and then compare it to the target markup. Now, the target markup here was given to us as 50%, and they will actually only achieve 45%. And this is usually because of theft of stock, or trade discounts that were given, or price reductions. Okay, so that's the reason for the target markup being different to the actual markup. Okay, the next one we have to calculate is gross profit divided by sales. Now we've already calculated the gross profit, or else you can just copy the calculation from above. And this time we're dividing it not by cost of sales, we're dividing it by sales of 1,190,000. Again, you're going to multiply it by 100 and calculate your answer. Okay, so these formulae are quite easy. The next one we have is operating expenses over sales. And this one here is a common one in exams, because they always want to speak about how the directors are controlling the operating expenses. So 233,000 divided by the sales figure, 1,190,000. Again, you're going to multiply it by 100 to get the answer, which is 20%. Okay, Next ratio, operating profit divided by sales. Operating profit is being given to us in the income statement, 153,000 divided by 1,190,000 and multiply your answer by 100. That will give you the answer of 13%. Okay, next one, net profit after tax on sales. So it's a net profit after tax divided by sales. So if you look at our income statement, we've been given the net profit before tax of 123,000. We need to subtract the tax of 58,560 to get net profit after tax. We're going to divide it by the same sales figure we've been using above and multiply your answer by 100 to calculate it. Okay, so that gives us 5%. Okay, so in the next part of the question, we're actually going to be commenting on all of these. So for now, we're just going to carry on, right? So for F, we're calculating the current ratio. Okay, and we should all know the formula now is current assets is to current liabilities, right? Okay, so this figure I've already put in here. So the current assets figure, okay, is given to you in the balance sheet for 20.4, 207,000. Current liabilities also given to you in the balance sheet, so 188,000. Okay, remember you're going to make the right hand side become 1, so that gives us an answer of 1.1:1. Okay, the previous year it was 1.5:1. Right? So put that answer in there. The asset test ratio we know is current assets minus inventory is to current liabilities. So we take 207,000 minus 140,000 inventories, use the current liabilities figure of 188,000, and then just work it out. So we get an answer of 0.4:1. Last it was 0.5:1. Okay, but you can already see that the asset test ratio is quite low, and obviously that may indicate problems with liquidity. Okay, the next one we're going to calculate is the rate of stock turnover. The formula I've just abbreviated it here is cost of sales divided by average stock. So cost of sales is 822,000. Average stock will be the trading stock figures or the inventory figures for the 2 years. Okay, adding it up and divided by 2. Now for inventory you've got a note for it. So if I look in note 1, the trading stock amount is 135,000 for this year and 116,000 for last year. So I'm just going to add those two up and divide by 2. This part here, you will only have to show the top part, right? Okay, and that gives us an answer of 6.5 times. Okay, here you can write times so that we know that the stock has turned over 6.5 times this year. The next one is the stock holding period, which is sort of a reversal of the rate of stock turnover. So average stock divided by cost of sales, and we multiply it by 365 because we want the answer to be in days. Now the reason I know the answer should be in days is because the previous year's calculations have also been done in days. That's another way you can gauge with how you should calculate. Okay, so average stock, we can use the same answer that we had up there, which we know is 822,000, or you can 822,000, right? So we already calculated there. But instead of the cost of sales is 822,000. The average stock, we can repeat the calculation that we have above there. 135,000 plus 116,000 divided by 2, which gives us obviously 125,500. Okay. Remember, you multiply your answer by 365 this time because we need it to be in days, right? Okay, and our final answer is 56 days. So just going to put that answer in as well. Okay, the next thing we're going to calculate is the debtors collection period. So the formula is average debtors divided by credit sales, and the answer is going to multiply by 365. Average debtors will be trade debtors for the 2 years divided by 2. Again, we've got the note, so we can look at the actual trade debtors figure in the note. So in note 2, the trade and other receivables, Debtors this year is 54,000, last year 44,000. Add them up and divide by 2. The credit sales. Okay, so if the sales amount is 1,190,000 and we were told that the sales on credit account for 40% of the total sales. We'll multiply that by 40%. And again, you're multiplying the answer by 365 to get it to days. Okay, so just the next step is just the answers from the above calculations, which you don't have to show if you use the calculator. Now our final answer will be 38 days. Okay, so this means that on average it takes the company 38 days to collect the money from the debtors. Okay, the next one we're going to calculate is the creditors payment period. The formula is average creditors divided by cost of sales multiplied by 365. Average creditors, we can again get the trade creditors figures from note 5, so 134,000 plus 134,000 trade creditors. Okay, so we can actually use 134,000 plus 84,000 and divide that by 2. Okay. And our cost of sales we've been using earlier is 822,000. We're going to multiply your answer by 365. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to do the calculation here. So we get 109,000 divided by 822,000 and we're going to multiply by 365. Okay, and that will give us an answer of, let's just see what this is. Okay, so 48 days. Okay, you notice in this question that I am rounding off my answers completely. And the reason I'm doing this is because of the previous year. If you look at the 20.3 figures, they've also been rounded off completely. So there's another way also that you can tell how your rounding should happen. Okay, the next formula is a solvency ratio. We haven't done this one yet. Okay, but the formula is total assets is to total liabilities. I'm just gonna remove this from here so we can do it together. Okay, so total assets. Okay, look at your information from your balance sheet. Okay, so total assets will be the non-current assets plus the current assets. Okay, so if we look at our information, we've got our fixed assets in 20.4, 464,000. That will be the non-current assets, and the current assets are 207,000. So we're just going to add them up. Okay. And then total liabilities will be non-current liabilities plus current liabilities. And that will be 180,000 non-current and 188,000 current liabilities. Okay, we then just work out the answers. Okay, the step again we're going to show. And then work out the final answer. Remember, this is a ratio, so you're making the right hand side become 1. So this means that the assets are 1.8 times more than the liabilities, which means that the company is solvent. The company is solvent if its assets are greater than its liabilities. Okay, for M, we're calculating the debt equity ratio. So the formula, non-current liabilities, is to shareholders' equity. Okay, so non-current liabilities is to shareholders' equity. The non-current liabilities, for this year, 180,000. And shareholders' equity for this year will be ordinary share capital plus the retained income. So 282,000 plus 21,000. Okay, just going to then calculate it. Okay, and then we're going to work out our ratio. Remember to make the right hand side become 1. Okay, and we're just going to put the answer in. Okay, so we've got our answer here. It's 0.6:1. In, we're calculating the return on total capital employed. Remember, this formula is quite important. Okay, So our formula is the net profit before interest and tax divided by the average capital employed, and we multiply our answer by 100. I know that many of you guys did this in one of the homework exercises. In the bottom section, you forgot to add on the non-current liability. Okay, so we're just going to go through it again. So net profit before tax is being given to you, 123,000. To that, we just have to add on the interest. So we're going to add on 30,000. Okay. If you had net profit after tax given to you, you would add on the income tax and you would also add on the interest. Right? But this, we're using net profit before tax, so we just have to add on the interest. Okay, the average capital employed. Now, we need to be very careful here. This will be the ordinary share capital plus the retained income plus the non-current liability of this year, plus the ordinary share capital, retained income and non-current liability of last year. All of that divided by 2. Okay, so it's all of this that you're going to calculate. I'm just going to make a note here. It's ordinary share capital plus retained income plus the non-current liability. So if you're adding up the figures, 6 figures, okay, all added up and then divide by 2. Then we'll be multiplying our answer by 100. Okay, we can then do our calculation. And multiply by 100 and work out your answer. Okay, so we get an answer of 30. Okay, so that is the return on total capital employed. When we get this in exams, it is going to be for quite a few marks because of all the various figures that went into your calculation. Okay, the next one is the return on shareholders' equity, and that formula is the net profit after tax divided by average shareholders' equity. Now, and again, you're multiplying by 100 because you want your answer to be a percentage. Now, net profit after tax. Okay, in this question, we've been given net profit before tax of 123,000. All we have to do is subtract the income tax of 58,560 to get net profit after tax. Okay, so average shareholders' equity. Average, so we're going to take the ordinary share capital plus the retained income for both years and divide it by 2. So we have 282,000 plus 21,000 for this year, 210,000 and 18,960 for last year. All added up and divided by 2. Okay, let's just do the calculation. So 64,440 divided by 265,980. Multiply the answer by 100 to give you 24%. Okay, so you got 24%. Okay, the next formula we're calculating is earnings per share. Okay, so we're almost at the end of our calculations. Earnings per share. The formula is net profit after tax divided by the number of issued shares. You're also going to be multiplying by 100 because you want your answer to be cent. Net profit after tax we have calculated in the above, which is the calculation again. And the number of issued shares, you can get it from the ordinary share capital note, the number of shares you issue at the end of the year. Okay, so we're just going to do the calculation and get our answer is 43,7 cents. Okay, so you can see that the earnings per share has improved from the previous year. Next one, dividends per share. Okay, so the dividends per share. Our formula is dividends on ordinary shares, which means that this means the interim dividend and the final dividend together, divided by the number of issued shares. Okay, you again multiply it by 100 because you want your answer to be in cents. Okay, so we can get the dividends from the retained income note, 62,400. The number of issued shares is the same one we used up there, 120,000. Multiplied by 100. And that will give you an answer of 52 cents. Okay, also you see that the dividends per share has increased in the previous year. The shareholders will be happy with it. Last calculation, net asset value per share, and the formula is shareholders' equity divided by the number of issued shares. Please remember that shareholders' equity is ordinary share capital plus retained income. So we're going to to add up those two figures, divide by 120,000 and multiply your answer by 100. That will give you 252,5. Okay, now I'm going to put that in here. 252,5. Okay, moving on to 4.39.2. Comment on your results obtained above, taking into account any improvement or deterioration since 20.3. Quote the actual financial indicators calculated in order to support your answer. Comment under the following headings: results of operating activities, returns to shareholders and the company's dividend policy, risk and financial leverage gearing, solvency and liquidity. Okay, so I have actually set up a table here, and this table basically lists all the ratios that we just calculated. Okay, if you notice, I also highlighted them. This is 20.4 is in yellow and 20.3 is in gray, so we can compare. Also, the colors on the side here indicate what it is. So the first one asks us to comment on the results of operating activities reflected in the income statement. And this would be a comment on the first 5 ratios, right? So these here are all on operating activity. Okay, so the first thing is that there was a problem with the markup. The markup percentage is lower than the target markup by 5%. This indicates that stock has been stolen or that goods were marked down during the year. Okay. So therefore, when we calculate the gross profit on cost of sales. Okay, then operating expenses on sales, okay, decreased by 6%. So operating, so it was 26% and it has now become 20%. Now this is actually good. The company has been able to control its operating expenses more effectively during this year. So then it's good that that has actually decreased. Okay, then the operating profit and net profit percentages have increased slightly. Okay, the company was more profitable this year. Okay, so basically overall, the markup percentage is lower than the target markup, and the operating expenses have decreased, and the operating profit and net profit percentages have increased. So the company is more profitable this year, and the directors are also managing their expenses more efficiently. Okay, the next thing is the returns to shareholders and the company's dividend policy. Okay, so those we're going to look at the last few ratios. So the return on shareholders' equity, earnings per share, dividends per share, and the net asset value per share. Okay, so these are the ones we're going to use to comment on. Right? Okay, so the returns to shareholders and the company's dividend policy. So let's look at the first one, the return on shareholders' equity. The return on shareholders' equity was increased by 6%. So shareholders will be satisfied with the return they have earned. Right? You could also compare that to interest rates on loans or investment. 24% is much higher than the usual interest rates on loans and investment. The next thing, the dividends per share. The dividends per share you can see have increased, and the earnings per share has also increased. But you can also see that the dividends per share and the earnings per share are very similar to each other, which means that the company has issued most of its earnings, most of the profits as dividends. Now this, shareholders could be either very happy with this, or they could be disappointed because the company is not retaining a lot of its earnings. The net asset value is decreased slightly, but it needs to be compared to the market value per share so that we can make further comments on it. Okay, then the next thing we need to talk about is the risk and financial leverage with gearing. Now for that we look at the debt equity ratio. Okay, so we have the risk and gearing, right? We look at the debt equity ratio and the return on total capital employed. Okay, so if you just want to look at this at your loan and your equity share capital. Okay, so if you look at our non-current liability, it decreased by 40,000. So 40,000 of the loan was repaid. Also, you can see that new shares were issued in the equity share capital. So we can say that 40,000 rand of the loan was repaid and 72,000 was raised by the issue of new shares. Okay, so that's what. Okay, so this resulted in a decrease in the gearing ratio of debt equity. The return on total capital employed is quite high, and we need to compare it to the interest rate on loan. If the return of the capital employed is greater than the interest rate on loan, the company is positively geared and can afford to take out additional loans. Okay? Now, if you look at our return on total capital employed, it is quite high. It's probably higher than any interest rates on any loans that the company may have. So the company is positively geared and not at a high risk. Okay, the next one we need to talk about is the solvency. Solvency, there's just this one ratio, okay, and we calculated it. It was 1.8:1. Okay, so we can say the company is solvent. The total assets are 1.8 times more than the liability. Okay, and the last thing is liquidity. So all of these that I've highlighted in blue are the liquidity indicators, right? So these here are all for liquidity. So we can say both the current ratio and the asset test ratio have decreased from the previous year. The asset test ratio indicates that the company only has 40 cents of liquid assets to meet the current liabilities if they fall due. Okay, so this is really a really poor indicator for liquidity. Okay, so the rate of stock turnover, it appears that the company is moving its stock quite quickly. Therefore, inventory is not the cause of the liquidity problem. Okay, the stock holding period is relating to that. The debt collection period is greater than the debtors collection period is less than the creditors payment period. So this is a good liquidity indicator. Money is received from debtors in 38 days, and it can then be used to pay the creditors in 48 days. Okay, so those are the. Okay, so the company. So it's the problem is probably the cash. The company's cash resources are limited and are creating the liquidity problem. The directors should not have repaid the loan. So if they have low cash resources, then the loan shouldn't have been repaid because the debt equity ratio was not at a high risk. Right? So this is something you can say. Okay. 4.29.4. John Juno, the shareholder who bought the new shares that were issued on 1st April. Should he be satisfied with the price he has paid for his share? Explain 14 figures for the answer. Okay, so the new share price was, we have to calculate it first. Okay, 72,000 divided by 30,000. Okay, and that gives us 240. So we have to compare this to the net asset value. Okay, and the net asset value is 252.5. Okay, so will he be satisfied? Okay, so he should be satisfied because the price he has paid is lower than the net asset value. In the case of liquidation, the minimum amount that he will receive for each share will earn him a profit of 12.5 cents per share because he bought it at lower than net asset value. Okay, so that's all for this question. Please ask any questions that you may have in the group. I would like you to try task 4.30. Please send it to me for marking, and I will send you the solution. Task 4.28 is also another task that you can try. Thank you. Goodbye.